just learn about finance. I started seeing technology that nobody else have seen before. Invest in you, in your education. I work 16 hours a day.
So I'd like to introduce our next guest, Saul Tarazona, blockchain, crypto, STO, fundraiser, and public speaker. My name is Jasmine, Business Development Manager at ECOS. We specialize in ASIC technology, hardware, and Bitcoin mining. So welcome. I'm just interested to know, you've been in aviation industry for so long, and I'd just like to know why in particular you actually chose this form of expertise.
Right. So actually, life took me into the emerging technologies very early. I started as an aeronautical engineer, working for the US government, and then moved to the UAE government, and then I ended up advising for other governments as well on the same topics. In aviation, we use the best and top technology that we can ever find, because safety is always first, because aviation is something that is not natural to humans. So we actually need to prove ourselves with technology to help us navigate in the air. And now on top of that, in defense, we end up using top-notch technology that nobody has access to except certain people. And I was lucky enough to have access to that technology. So I'm talking, of course, all defense-related technology.
Are we talking UFOs? Are we talking electromagnetics?
Yeah, electromagnetics, definitely. UFOs, I wish I was in touch with alien, but no, not on that. I would have been very fun actually, but
Sounds
no,
exciting.
I wish.
Okay, anyway, that's like a very exciting field to be in. I'd also like to ask the fact that you've had so much extensive experience, working with governmental organizations, assisting them with like strategies, how to, incorporate innovative technology, especially the fact that you're an aeronautical engineer. So I'm sure you must have some like really cool solutions.
Yeah, when we are in the field and we have an emergency and we have definitely lots of problems to solve in defense, their mission is very clear, and the mission is always first, or actually second after safety. The solutions that you need to do need to be very effective, very efficient. You cannot waste resources. You have to be on top of that. You actually need to deliver very quickly, very reactively sometimes. And when there's a chance to plan, then you plan. But certain things, regardless how much you plan, you actually end up reacting to the emergency. So that's what we learn, to react very fast. And training always takes us to the.
Can you give me an example of reactive, like in a situation where you can't really determine the outcome? Reactivity. Can you just give me an example of this, like how it really is?
So cool example. We were in an aircraft and a helicopter, and we were in a mission in the middle of the desert with lots of other helicopters at the same time, and we were doing training, simulating a real mission. And then at some point, an aircraft have a small failure, an emergency. They call for an emergency, and then we end up, all of us, in the middle of the desert trying to solve the problem, how to solve that problem. The fact of the matter is that when you are in a difficult situation, in a place that is not an office, comfortable office, or on your base of operations, you need to be prepared. So preparation is always what saves you. Training and the preparation. So that's a good example of how we need to be reactive.
In every situation. I understand. That's a very good piece of advice. But I guess sometimes, if you can't predict it, then that's the best way to go about things. Anyway, so the information, could you provide me with some information about, because you're very close with blockchain, obviously, and fundraising and STOs. So I'm very interested in, what strategies you have in engaging people and how it works. And are you involved with any projects concerning this?
Yeah, I'm an advisor for actually a lot of projects.
Okay.
My bandwidth is now on top of I cannot get more and more projects at this point, and my time is very scarce at this point. So yes, the approach to fundraising, maybe, is that the point that you would like to touch? Okay, so on the fundraising side, so that what my clients do with me is that they need help. They need help to do fundraise. Sometimes they don't even know what blockchain is, but there are reputable organizations, even governments, and sometimes startups. I started actually in fundraising for startups very early in 2012. And just then we will start using blockchain. There was only Bitcoin out there. Ethereum wasn't even out there yet until 2014. So I started seeing technology that nobody else have seen before, because they were doing fundraise to actually finish the technology, or actually buy hardware, or buy nodes, or buy marketing. Honestly, what these startups, most of them, that's what they need, marketing to go out there. So what I did with them is helping them to find, number one thing, image. Second, well, I ended up knowing about businesses. Being an engineer, you don't know much about business. So I did my master's in Coventry University, and that's where I learned about marketing. I learned about strategies, human behavior, and all the things that basic MBAs do. With that, I utilize all that knowledge with the startups, and it worked pretty well. Some of them raised the money, some of them didn't, some of them raised the money and run away.
I'm interested to know your interaction with startup companies, like especially upcoming really good ideas with a lot of potential. How do you deal with, because it's human interaction, sometimes people are incompetent. How do you deal with these situations? I'm interested.
Give me a case scenario, maybe that will help me.
Okay, let's say there's a project, agriculture for alternative ways on how to grow, right? Crops, for instance, maybe hydroponics. There's no business plan, but there is already a scientific research background behind the project. There's an idea, there's already land, but how do they get it off the ground? Obviously, you need to have some competencies following that plan. You'd need your structured, what do you call it? Plan of action.
I'm sorry, in agriculture, I wouldn't be able to answer.
I'm just like, this is just hypothetical.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, what if there is some incompetencies with the startup companies? Okay. How do you help them?
Okay, so you do an assessment. Well, number one thing you do when you approach or they approach you is to do an assessment of what they have, what they need, where they want to go. Number one, is see what the team is capable of. Most of them on my industry is technology, so most of them they're amazing, brilliant geniuses, technology developers. But of course, they don't know about marketing. They don't need to know about marketing. They're geniuses in their own technology part. So now I know that they need to put some money on marketing, or have somebody responsible for marketing. And then digital marketing wasn't so booming as it is now. So I pay for my own education in marketing. So when I learned about digital marketing very early in 2014, I think, I realized how these amazing ICOs were raising money, and I realized how they were using digital marketing when we were allowed doing Facebook ads and other things about ICOs.
You sound so busy. How do you cope?
I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur. I work 16 hours a day. That's my schedule.
Yeah.
So I wake up, do my morning rituals, and I start working. And I'm lucky enough that I'm able to do this. That I do what I love
Mm-hmm.
on the time. So I allocate most of my time to do the things that I love.
It's amazing. Can I ask, sir, by any chance, do you have a Bitcoin wallet?
Of course,
Okay, so what's your
not
attitude to?
one, many.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good. So, what's your attitude towards Bitcoin?
My attitude is that is the king.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it. I am super passionate about. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's a value preservation. It behaves better than anything in the
Mm-hmm.
market now. It
Mm-hmm.
behaves better than gold, better than markets, better than indexes, better than many things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's not a safe haven yet, but it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And I only see Bitcoin growth not exponentially anymore, but on a stable increment,
So you're sort of,
controlled.
you see it's being a steady growth and you're not very excited about it, but you still have a positive outlook, right?
No, the excitement was in 2012. Come on, how long are you going to be excited for?
So that's old school. Is that old school
It
for you?
is old, it's 10 years old technology.
Mm-hmm. I know. So you have no passion towards it. So you just
No,
want to.
I respect it, but I feel a love about Bitcoin. No, there's other things there. And what else I can do in Bitcoin? What else?
I understand, sir.
Just put
Yeah.
the money there and sit and hold. Maybe
Mhm.
do trading. That's it.
That's about
Nothing.
it. There's not really much to. Okay, I understand what you mean in your approach. So I just wanted to know. Okay, so we're talking about these STOs. We're talking about them. You know, how do we get people or governments to legitimize tokens? You know, what about organizations providing solutions how to pay government bonds, international debt? Do you think like maybe this is another way that governments can go about doing business now, and it can be of good influence for the public? What do you think?
Yeah, so number one thing, we are at very early times on the security token offerings. This is just starting in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I'm encouraging governments to look at it because every other government needs liquidity for their own infrastructure projects. They have some possibilities now. They can have private investment. They can have banks to invest in them. But it's the benefit at the end of the day. The bankers want to make money and they want a clear exit as soon as they can, and they're gone. There's
Mm-hmm.
no much benefit for the economy of the country. Yes, it will create jobs. Yes, it will create maybe some education challenges that hopefully they will be able to care to
Mm-hmm.
to to improve the education on that side. But what I'm looking forward with the security token is the democratization of the investments.
Okay.
So what does it mean? Is that the random people with the lower class all the way to the upper class have now the possibility to invest in amazing infrastructure projects for the governments, and the governments will be happy to take this funding as a crowd source
Mm-hmm.
from their own citizens. For example, I'm from Colombia, so we have a beautiful example of how the governments do this. This is a third world country. There's not much liquidity. Where do we get the funding from? We
But
can have a big debt. We can
okay.
have other sources. But instead, what we can do is raise the money, $5, $10 from one security token from the citizens, and they will be able to invest in their own metro station
Mm-hmm.
or their own metro system.
Mm-hmm.
So how beautiful is that?
That's amazing. I just wanted to know also because your region is Dubai, so you've also been in a lot of projects there. So I just want to get a comparison between over there and in this area as well, because I think that there's been a lot of developments in Dubai with some STO projects. No, could you just elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, we actually have now 5 clients with my company, Tech for Blockchain Advisory.
Maybe it's classified information, and you're trying to
I
think.
was thinking if I should say it or in the country or not.
You don't have to. You don't have
Uh,
to.
okay, no worries. So with my company, the Cafor Blockchain Advisory, we managed to sign an agreement with one country to develop a sovereign wealth fund to rebuild the country.
Mm-hmm.
So who can invest in this? Of course, investment funds, governments from other countries that want to support their partners, their own industry in the country that they want to develop new businesses, they want to be stable, they want to improve security, they want to create ports, refineries, etc. So this investment fund is going to be a massive, honestly, a very large size, and it will be tokenized. In what form? In the form of security tokens.
Well, I have a question though. Okay,
Sure.
so let's say that a company, or not a company, but a country would like to invest long term. Let's say 10 to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
How can we be sure that these tokens will be worth anything in the next 10 years? You know, how do you guarantee investors that, okay, if you get this token, then you'll be fine? How do we know this?
Right, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, we got some bad examples in the ICO world, but that is over. Honestly, I think STOs are gonna take over. There's nothing that stop that.
Uh-huh.
So how do we guarantee that those tokens are gonna be valued, if anything, at any point? So actually, security tokens have to be backed by something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. Number two is that they are regulated. So it's not like before that they were unregulated ICOs and everybody can just raise 10 to 100 million out of one piece of paper or an idea. And the people were putting it, maybe, I don't know if professional or not professional investors, but definitely they learned the lesson that when the things are not secure, the things are not backed by something, sometimes the people that are unscrupulous take the money and run away. In this case, there's nothing like that. There's always a risk, of course, in the security token. So number one, it is backed by something. Number two, it is regulated by a financial institution. Which financial institutions? For example, in US, the SEC, FINMA in Switzerland, Monetary Authority of Singapore, etc., etc., etc. Each country has their own, and most of them are working into getting into this regulation. So actually, those. So, sorry, just to finish this part, the tokens are valued and secure, and they're tradable and liquid almost immediately.
Okay.
The STO is like a IPO, just that is digitalized and tokenized.
So it's the same thing as an IPO, exactly. Regulation. I thought that there are some loopholes because it's coming from the crowd, right? So how do we know if a donation or a person is accredited? Because with STO, isn't it organizations that can get financial backing, and with IPOs, it's crowdfunding, a sort of, you know. So I'm just interested to understand the difference.
Right. The difference between the IPO and the STO is that one is one. So what is an IPO? You take a company from private to public, and what do you offer? You offer bonds, shares, or stock. Those are the three. There's others, but the main ones are these. Okay. So with the STOs, we offer the same, but we can offer stocks, bonds, or shares, but on a digital manner that are immediately liquid. You never need to have a buyer in the other side to be able to trade it, because the trading platform is embedded in the amazing security token offering platform. So you have everything there. You have a market to sell and buy, and well, the secondary market is going to be a problem. So far, we're working on that in the industry, and maybe the solutions are already there. Just we need more volume, more transactions, more people to know and invest in security tokens, basically.
And what projects with, because I think I read somewhere that you were involved in a project with relation to stopping COVID. So Are you working with any scientists by any chance that you could tell us about, if it's not a secret?
And not anymore, not anymore. Now the information is out. So the company name is Graphics. They have been in the bioscience industry for 15 years. They contact us to create a security token. And well, the detail, basically they have done so many vaccines. And they have one special vaccine right now that hit us all, which is a COVID-19 vaccine. Right now it's in human trials. Hopefully, as soon as the trials finish, we can start production. And right now, well, we are raising funds for them, 20 million, not only for the COVID-19 vaccine, but for the entire company. And so the investor will have access to buy first priority the COVID-19 vaccine. And the other thing is that it's going to have direct access to the other vaccines, and there's many options. And the other option is to invest in the actual company.
So if companies are seeking funds, if the process, I'm sure it's quite lengthy, why don't they approach Bitcoin mining, for instance, or cloud mining in free economic zones with no taxes? Why don't they look to those regions as a way to sort of raise funds for themselves? Okay, because the thing is, with Bitcoin mining and ASIC hardware, you generate Bitcoins over time, and your return of investment over a 2-year span is 283.5K. You see it as an investment option.
Yes. So,
okay.
So that's definitely an option for investors, but it's not an option for somebody seeking investment.
But it's a way to make funds, raise funds for instance, startup companies that are in that zone. That's also, isn't that another way for them to just generate funds without having to seek, external STOs or IPOs? Or do you think that's not even effective? That's not even a way to go about it. It doesn't make sense to you?
Not really, because let me try to connect it. So you're saying that, are you looking into the mining as a possibility to raise funds?
Yes.
That might be something interesting, but I don't know.
How long does it take for a company to, go through the whole motion of, how long does it take? What's the time span?
From the day zero kickoff meeting to get the STO out is 3 months minimum.
3 months. Okay.
And then the time that takes to sell the token, sometimes it's during the same time, hopefully, but sometimes it takes 1 or 2 months more, depending how much marketing you have, how much digital marketing do you do, and your go-to-market strategy.
Okay. So with Bitcoin mining, we have, like, for instance, a 10-month contract. Okay, and that contract can bring your return of investment of 112%. So would you say that maybe it's also an alternative? Maybe it can be used in balance with the STO or this way of your fundraising. Have you ever looked into it for startup companies, especially?
So you always need to have money to make money most of the times.
True.
But you have to have an amazing idea in order not for you to have the money and actually make money. So if a startup has some money and they raise already money and they have to manage those funds securely, because maybe they raised $10 million. They have to do money management, and they have to do a portfolio management of that investment that they received. They actually have to be responsible with that. What happened in 2014 is that the ICOs, the companies, raised the money in Ethereum, and they kept Ethereum always. And then when it died, the price died, they lost like 80% of their entire capital that they raised. And we're talking about huge amount of money.
Okay.
So they missed to do that. So if they had this possibility of investing in mining at that early stage, they will have done good money, they will secure their investments, they will have something to show, because sometimes they don't need the 10 million now, they just need it maybe for in trenches every quarter, 2 millions every quarter. Maybe they don't need everything now. They just want to ensure that they have the capital to grow. So that actually sounds like a solution for money management for startups and organizations. So many organizations, what is the problem? They are asset rich and cash poor.
That's always good, right? Because fiat doesn't. Okay.
So when most of the companies are like that, they are fully invested in anything, but they don't have the liquidity. And whenever they need actually to buy something cash, they don't have the liquidity, and they have to they sell shares, they have to manage their cash flow differently. I would recommend companies to invest a part as a high risk. Is not a high risk for me, but it is for them, because they might or might not be aware of blockchain or understand much about the technology. But a small portion of their funding, or a small portion of their treasury, to be invested in mining, so they can actually have immediate liquidity whenever they need so.
So this whole approach that young people have with all the flashy cars, with all the, because at the end of the day, everybody knows diamonds are a girl's best friend, but they're worthless, basically. Diamonds have no worth. And slowly you can see people aren't buying them anymore. So just give us advice, us young people, a direction. Guys, what do you do with your money?
Right, I will tell you. Whatever money you receive, divided, that will be 100%. Get your basic, your needs, your food, transportation, and living accommodation. I don't know if you're living with your parents or no, whatever it is.
No.
That's money. But whenever, if you're young enough, you might be living with your parents. That's the best time to save. So just get that apart, and the rest divided in the following. Let's say you end up with 60% and you're spending 40% on your livings. At the 60% divided in savings for the emergency, the other investment, and the other one, it will be for health. No, for health, for health or fun. Yeah, fun things.
You mean
enjoyment?
Oh, okay. Leisure.
Yeah? Leisure. That's right. Whatever, maybe that's what I will do. So in my case, 40%.
I'm interested. Where do I invest? Okay, I have some savings, but I'm trying to now. Okay, I'm mining right now, but I'm also trying to decide. Okay, I'm not going to buy a car, because I'd rather use those funds and put them into something else. I'd rather invest into something, but I don't know how to approach it. And this is your area, so what advice do you have for people like me?
Okay, let's say you have some extra cash every month. Yeah. Let's say, as an example, you have $100 every month extra.
Okay.
Is that a fair number?
Oh, okay, it's okay.
Extra. You already paid your living, you have paid all your expenses. You have 100 every month. Save that for 5 months. And now you have 500. And then you can do other things. For example, I will encourage everybody to learn how to trade online. Okay. That's number one thing. Invest in you, in your education.
Yeah, obviously. Okay.
Yeah, that's number one thing. The more books you read, the wiser you get, and then your mindset. Actually, learn finance. Just learn about finance, how it works.
Actually, that's what my company is doing right now. They're educating us. They're
awesome.
And they always want us to be better. And the fact that we're also young, and they really like us to perform better. So the fact that they're doing this for us, I was quite blown away. And actually, I don't know, it's a very interesting experience, because my specialty is mostly biochemistry. So all of a sudden I'm in finance, I'm talking about STOs and all this, but it is exciting. So yeah, this is just my advice from you, advice that I wanted to get from you. So you say that I should invest this money. So hold on to it, just put it in my bank account for like a couple of months and then invest it into what?
Yeah,
Okay.
so invest in your education, number one.
Uh-huh.
Don't do as everybody did. They just think that put money in somewhere is investment. No, you need to be wise. You need to have a strategy for investment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, investment is not easy thing. You need to learn how to. And there's books, beautiful books about it. Number
Can you
one
give
book I
me
will
a name
recommend.
of a
Oh
book?
yes, many. I will give you some.
Okay.
And it's super easy. You can sit and read it like in 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
That's Robert Kiyosaki.
Kiyosaki. Oh, there we go. That was his
Robert
name.
Kiyosaki.
Uh-huh. I said to
I
Takoshi.
like the Warren Buffett. I think is the essays of Warren Buffett. I
So
enjoyed that one.
I have a question. What do you think about
Yes.
capitalism?
I believe in capitalism.
So
I believe there are ways to make money, that the people don't need to be poor, that money doesn't give you happiness. It helps, but it gives you options.
are you
Options to
happy?
life. Options. Yeah, I'm very happy. Yeah. I'm financially free because I learned about making money very early in my time.
Mm-hmm.
The engineering never teach me how to make money. The engineering teach me how to be an employee. And that's why I educate myself, and I went into business. I understand trading, definitely trading. Trading teach me most of my investment knowledge, honestly.
On
Online
the job.
trading. Sorry?
It was just like on the job. You just started it. You just went. You dive straight into it. You didn't prepare yourself for it.
I always envy some family members of mine that they were in the stock market, and I would say, wow, what amazing work they're doing. But I was more in the engineering side. I want to make things from scratch, design, creative, not just. And then I saw the need of actually making money. There's other books, which is from Peter Lynch, Learn to Earn.
Peter
It's
Lynch.
an old book, but it's very good. And another book that I would like to recommend you is The Money Game, from Adam Smith. Just look for it.
The Money Game. Okay. Thanks for that.
No worries.
I'm definitely going to get this in my
Financial education is what they should be teaching kids at school when they are 12 years old. And we end up the university that they never teach us how to manage our money.
I mean, even they don't give courses on how to do your taxes, how to file it, all this. But the thing is, I never studied. I've been studying in different countries, and in the field that I studied and specialized in, that isn't really the focus. Like you just said, university is there, especially if you're in engineering or chemistry. If you're focused, they just teach you how to go to the lab, how to test, how to use, the equipment, and how to just finish whatever you're supposed to do
An
and
employee.
go home. That's it. Like, they don't teach you anything else.
They don't teach you how to innovate in your field.
No, they don't. You just have to be
wish.
inspired. Yeah, that's quite sad. It's quite sad. But it's good to have people like you who have that background, who know what it's like to sit up every night trying to cram all those formulas in your head and pass the exam. But then you're also on the other side where things are working for you and you're in finance and you're financially free and you're happy. So I think you're a very good example. So,
Thank you for that.
So I need to know about this. You have this the GJET, this project of yours. Could you just elaborate on that a bit? Because you're so passionate about it.
Well, just brilliant things come to me very often. this is honestly on top of my mind. This is taking most of my, I'm investing all most of my time into it. GJet is an electric aircraft. This is an old concept from 1914, where they decide that there's alternatives from fixed wing aircraft or rotary wing aircraft. The rotary wing aircraft is a helicopter. So this is a gyrocopter concept. There's actually, the GJet is the brand, and there's two aircrafts. One is the Koan, and the other one is the Aeon. So one is a two-seater, the other one is a four-seater limousine. And so this goes again with the democratization of the things that I love. This is the democratization of the air transportation from a fixed point. So actually you can depart from the top of the building and go to the other top of the building.
Have you flown in
safely?
There's already how does it feel?
Okay, I to feel to fly?
No, I mean in one of those GJets. Have you,
okay.
Is the prototype out? Like, how does it feel?
The prototype, we are right now raising funds to create the first prototype scale 1-to-1. We have done many this has been 15 years in the making, 1-5. So we're ready to build the parts, assemble it together, send it for certification, and then start production. So we're talking in 1 year and a half or two, we will be able to see and ride and have one of these aircrafts, because it takes like 6 months to produce the parts.
Okay. Are you involved in the process of the development?
I became a founder with the inventor. The inventor is a French guy that he's been living in Colombia for 25 years. He's a scientist.
So are you. So are you.
I wish. No, but he's way above anyone.
Is he a genius?
He's a genius. He's a genius. I would classify him as a genius.
Okay, then there must be something special, but I'm just interested to know, okay, when it comes to deciding which startups you want to get involved in or invest in or become a co-founder, do you have like some sort of emotional like attachment to the whole thing, or is it just, straight business, like let's make numbers, I want numbers?
No, actually, with this one, my passion for flying, I learned how to fly. I've been around aircrafts since 2004. That tells you how old I am. And so, no, aviation is, I'm passionate. I mean, you probably see some aircraft that I have there, here, over here, and
what
I
molecule is that? Is that a molecule over there?
No, it's actually a cloth hanger.
Okay.
That looks like a DNA.
Yeah, it does. It looks.
That's why I bought it. That's why I bought it. I love it. I love biology.
Yeah.
I love your career, by the way. Biotechnology, yeah. I ignore it, but I love it.
It's fascinating. I think it's a proof that something larger than life exists, and the human body is it. It is. It's amazing.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So what were you saying before I interrupted?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so talking about passionate things, you see? I'm passionate about, money will come and go, but leaving something behind. Let's say when I die and I pass away and go to a better state of life, I would like to have done something for the world. So what is that? So I would love to work closer on the bioscientists. I have done, actually, this graphics company is one STO, and we were doing another one, which was a cancer prevention test based on a DNA sequencing and very advanced technology. So these things, I know it will help the world.
Definitely.
Especially because the founders or the scientists creating this technology always think about the people that cannot pay for the test, or the people that cannot, don't have the ways to pay for all this.
So it's like a kit, right? This is a kit that's going to be made ready, available to do pre-diagnosis on people who would like to know if they have cancer or not, right?
Yes. So this is an Italian scientist, bioscientist,
Okay.
that we met in Dubai, and in my early time of the STO, 2018. And he designed an amazing technology that is not invasive. It's not telling you what cancer do you have or what state of cancer do you have. It actually goes way earlier when you have small molecules that might mutate into a cancer. So it's an amazing technology, top technology that I think so far nobody has access yet. The article, I can share with you the article and the information.
Is there a
you can
citation?
see
Yeah.
maybe share.
About the citation,
I
would also
definitely.
like to.
This was published in a scientific magazine that I can send you the link.
Okay,
later.
no problem, no problem. I'd be very interested to read that.
You will love it. You will love it. This is amazing. About passion and about where I invest my time.
Okay.
And my contacts and my network and my knowledge. It's not only about time, and money many times. Is about something that will give me a differentiation factor in the world. Who cares if you have X amount of money or X plus 10 times? Who cares? It's what you did with that money what counts. So at least for me, how many people did you help? What industry did you create? And that's what I want to do with GJET. I want to create a brand new aviation industry for whatever lucky investor is to decide in which country he wants to develop. This is a brand new aviation industry, as Bombardier has in Canada. Canada has Bombardier, Airbus has in France, US Boeing, and what the others, like in Brazil, there's a huge industry about that. Even in UAE, there's a few developments. So the passion that I put in this, my time, my effort, is because I want to have a legacy.
The role of the individual in history.
Yes. So when they look when they look my name, they will find out, oh wow, he actually helped on this did that. That's what is important for me.
That's amazing. But I'm interested to know, okay, so why are you interested in zones like free economic zones? You've taken an interest in ECOS. And that is
right.
why I have the opportunity to speak to you. So I just want to know, what is it about us that you're attracted to, that you're interested in and interested in developing, despite the fact that Bitcoin is boring for you?
So let me tell you. So Armenia is a very strategic place. Why is that? For entrepreneurs, number one. So for example, with GJET, if I put GJET in Armenia, what I will have? I will have the best engineering and technicians from the areas around. Yeah, which can you please tell me which are the countries around that area?
So
we have.
Okay, I thought you were asking me.
No, please do.
So it's Georgia, it's Kazakhstan, I think. It's at the Turkmenistan, I think. Also, I'm not really sure about the geography, but what's it also across? Please help me.
Sure. So on that area, you will find amazing engineering, aviation engineering. That's number one. You will have coders, technology developers. You're very close to Europe. I mean, you can travel a few hours during there. You have access to Saudi Arabia in very short time. I would say maybe 4 hours flying to.
Maybe I should open my map. Should I open my map?
I think that will be good. In Ukraine, you have amazing developers. Blockchain, by the way, I love Ukraine developers in there. Moldova is picking up very well in crypto. Romania, we have aviation experience from the old years. So you see, the distance is very close to all these places. The rental is very low for offices. So my operation cost is very low. The access to smart people, very easy access. And since they don't need to pay a lot of money on living expenses, They don't need to pay much on transportation because it's an area that it should provide everything on a walking distance access, right? I mean, it's large, but you're going to be wise enough to put the office very close where do you live, finally, so you don't waste time in traffic.
How do you
don't have traffic.
communicate? Do you speak Russian by any chance?
I don't. I know. I know a few words from my coders
Okay.
that they teach me bad words and good words usually.
Can you say one for me?
No, I would be ashamed. I would be ashamed. I don't want to. I don't
You
want.
can just say здравствуйте.
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 Almost. That's close, pretty close.
Okay. It's always a challenge with a new language. So coming back to Armenia, the free zone is tax-free. You have access to, and most of all, you have access to the government, which is always important. You have the support of the government. And I know they have a pretty good deal to help you with the marketing, which is something very important. So how much budget do I put for? Usually it's like, for just to get access to one country or maybe two, you put $300,000 in budget for that. So if I manage just to save even half, that will be an investment. That will be a pretty smart move to move there. So operation cost very low, access to people, marketing help, access to government, and the most important of all of this is the ecosystem that you're building in there, is that the people help each other.
Yeah, it's progressive, and I know, I feel like we believe in each other. That's how the company operates, and we're trying to grow each other. And I mean, not everything is going to be perfect, because as a company grows, the methods become more in place, and there's an algorithm happening. But from the environment, from what I feel, it's something absolutely new to me. But I actually am satisfied and happy to be a part of this community right now. So yeah,
I think you should be proud. I'm looking forward to be part as well.
Yeah, you should be.
and let me tell you one thing. The one thing that I can assure you with any startup is that you're gonna have lots of problems.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much money you raise, doesn't matter how much liquidity you can get or revenue, you are gonna end up with so much problems. And if you have a community to support you and to help you, that's the key to success.
Yeah, it's not just one person, and Rome wasn't built in one day, right? So, sir, it was so cool to speak to you. Thank you.
No, thank you, and to Kirill to make this happen. I'm really happy to share a little bit of my experience. I'm looking forward to speak to you soon.
Okay, see you soon, sir. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for this.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.